But LeBron had a clear influence on Mike Brown's departure in Cleveland.
Right.
So the only one on that list, the really only one we can point to and say that survived LeBron James' tenure is Erik Spoelstra. And he tried. He hinted at having Spoelstra taken out in Miami. He went to Pat Riley and said, hey, you ever get that itch? You ever get that itch, Pat? Pat said, no, what itch? To coach again. No, I don't. Spoelstra's your coach. Look, man, we add them up and you just take the obvious ones. Dave Blatt, strike one. Mike Brown, Dominique, I think that does count as a strike. Ownership was trying to do what they thought LeBron James wanted in getting rid of Mike Brown. Luke Walton, we'll wait and see where this goes. And I think Spoelstra counts as a strike. That's an extra one for good measure. That's not 3 strikes, Ryan. That's 4 strikes. LeBron James, whether we want to say it's earned or unearned, deserved or undeserved, LeBron James ends coach's tenure coaching where they currently are with him.
For one, you can't fault that man for wanting to be coached by Pat Riley. You see a great coach in the front office that still has the juice, you would want to be coached by him. For 2, no, he's absolutely not a coach killer. Why? Let's define coach killer, because I don't think you or a lot of people at home actually understand what that is. It's a statistically driven player who is so good that he raises the expectations of the coach in the organization. LeBron James brings results. 9 straight NBA Finals, 3 championships. So when you talk about a coach killer, this is a guy who does not get it done on the floor, but is actually good enough to raise expectations. So now when you look at a LeBron James, you cannot give him the title or the name of Coach Killer.
Well, I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to side with Will on this first one. And as much as I love LeBron, and as much as he does make coaches' careers, he also has a trail of bodies. Like, I don't know if he's necessarily a coach killer, but there sure are a lot of dead coaches behind him somewhere. And it's the way it works out. I think that he does raise the expectations immediately. He is a high risk and high reward type of player to coach. If you have LeBron, you're automatically a championship contender. That's good and that's bad, because if you have LeBron, you better win a championship or you're going to be out the door. Sometimes it's at his hand, and sometimes it's just because people see it and realize you are underachieving. And the Riley point is a good one. Spoelstra is now – LeBron both tried to kill Spoelstra, had an attempted coach-killing situation, and he also
blame him for that, though?
He also made Spoelstra's career. Right. I don't care whether you blame him or not. The fact is he tried to kill the man as a coach, or – killing is probably an aggressive term, but he tried to get him fired. So
the reality is – all great players raise those expectations. So this isn't just a LeBron thing.
Not all great players get it to that point. There are a lot of great players that when you show up, they don't assume that you're a championship.
Okay, hold on, Ryan. I want to address that point. So first of all, I sympathize with one thing here with LeBron. Most great players in NBA history had a great coach to go along with them. MJ had Phil Jackson. Kobe had Phil Jackson. Tim Duncan had Greg Popovich. You could even go down a step. You could say Dirk had Rick Carlisle. Right. LeBron has not had that level of coaching throughout his career, and that is not necessarily his fault. But his response to that has been passive aggressiveness, harsh on his coaches. He probably does have a higher basketball IQ than many of these guys, but the result, as Dominique is pointing out, is the result. They haven't survived. Their tenure has not lasted. Now, I'll put this to you this way. There are other players who have raised the expectation of an organization. I just rattled off a ton of them. There are other great players who the minute you sign him, the expectations go up. Tell me another one. Tell me another one besides LeBron that's left a trail of coaches in his wake.
I'm trying to figure out, because Michael Jordan had, 4 coaches? Kobe Bryant had 1 coach, Dale Harris. We didn't call him a coach killer when Dale Harris was fired. And
we wouldn't if LeBron only had one either.
Hold on. And then after Phil Jackson, Kobe Bryant ran through 4 other coaches. So you don't give that same title to Jordan. You don't give him to Kobe. And I get it. There are the outliers of coaches. There are the Popoviches. There are the Sloans. There's a number of coaches in which you say they hold their own. But if you're not a fit with a great player, I don't think that's a player's fault. In the NBA, it's a player-driven league.
I have never said that I wouldn't extend this label to other players. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. The connotation is that it's a bad thing. If the coaches aren't good enough, you got to get them out there. And I respect LeBron for pushing, whether it's the way I would do it or not. The fact is, LeBron's legacy is no one's going to look back on his legacy and say, but he didn't have good enough coaches. So if a coach got to go, I respect the fact that he's going to get him out there. But I'm also not going to pretend that he's not actually working behind the scenes.
But the
do some of
Spoelstra
these
one
things.
is honestly the biggest indictment of them all because Spoelstra is universally
Was he
recognized.
wrong? Hold on. Was he
he's-
wrong for that, though?
He's recognized now as one of the best coaches in the NBA.
That's fine, but
is
was he
Spoelstra a
wrong
top 5 coach in
hold
the
on.
NBA? Is he a top 5 coach?
I agree, but was he wrong for wanting to be coached by Pat Riley at the time? Is that not why he went to Miami?
I don't fault him for any of his coach killings or attempted coach killings. Like, he's doing what he thinks is best for him. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he's not doing it. Like, he is definitely doing it.
And like I said, can we all agree that when you define a coach killer, this is a player whose talent is up here and the results are down here, and you expect the coach to get the results up there, and you don't see that. But LeBron James is not the case in that.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is the case. He shows up, and that raises the talent of the team to the point
The
where
results aren't there?
expectations-
Have the results
No,
not been there?
The results
So
are
what
there.
are you saying
But
then?
I'm saying if the results aren't championship, or if they don't think that the team is championship ready, like David Blatt didn't even get a full season, and LeBron assessed it. I'm not saying LeBron was.
hold on.
I'm not saying he was right or wrong.
Do you think that was a great fit?
No, I think it was smart of
So
LeBron to do it.
David Blatt asked him.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
Ryan,
see, you're missing the
in the
problem.
end, you end up having excuses. The other players that we named have at least one tenure with a long-term relationship with a coach that produced results. The only one that LeBron
Michael Jordan
has
had 4
is
different
Spoelstra,
coaches.
and he tried to end that
Michael
one too.
Jordan had 4 different coaches.
And he also had a long relationship with Phil Jackson that resulted in success.
Can you tell me
Who
if
is
you're
that for LeBron?
Can you tell me if you're LeBron James and you know you went to a storied franchise and you got Pat Riley up there and you see Pat walking around saying, man, I know you coach Magic, I know your tradition, I know who you are. I would love to be coached by you. Who's this guy, this little Spoelstra guy who came out the video room? Do I want to play for him? No, I want to play for you, Pat. Is he wrong
The
for
grass
that?
is always greener.
But I think
gosh.
you don't understand the difference, that there's a step between it being him being a coach killer and not necessarily being a bad thing. I think he does kill coaches, and I think some coaches deserve to die. So I'm fine with him running David Blatt out of town because they didn't help him, but I'm not going to pretend like he didn't run David Blatt out of
Well,
town.
LeBron definitely looks to take control of whatever team
we
he's
don't gotta
on.
kill
He's
him,
always
but
looking for
you
these
get the point.
championship results. And if that means coach killing, then in terms of what LeBron does, then I guess so be it, huh?